Today we are going to debate, is TikTok good or bad?
Militaries, the people with the best access to intelligence and who really know what's going on behind the scenes, they have all banned TikTok.
Upton is a content creator and he thinks TikTok is a good platform. Alyne is also a content creator and she believes TikTok does more harm than good. 50% of the audience thinks TikTok is good and 50% thinks it's bad. The person who changes the most minds wins. Let's go!
My name is Upton and I think TikTok is good because it's changed the internet for the better. See, now people can learn on TikTok. It's not just an app for dancing and silly videos anymore. There's a huge educational movement on the app and also authenticity. Now more than ever, vulnerability and authentic content is winning the day when it comes to TikTok.
Hi, my name is Alyne and I am a content creator with over 3 million followers on social media. Despite that, today I want to argue against TikTok and why I think it's bad. I think TikTok creates issues with addiction, with mental health, and with user data and privacy issues. So today, despite making my entire living from social media, I'm gonna tell you why you should probably delete TikTok. TikTok is owned and run by ByteDance, which is controlled essentially by the Chinese government. When you sign that user agreement, you are signing away your face, you're signing away your voice, you're signing away every keystroke that you type. Normally, I don't actually care about data collection and privacy. It's not something that I've ever cared about. Take whatever data you want. But when it comes to ByteDance and when it comes to TikTok, they're collecting unprecedented amounts of information, and they're a company that's based in China, a country that's known for kind of abusing the amount of information they get. They watch their own people with cameras. They give social scores to humans living in their country, and I don't know that I want to be involved in that.
It's actually been proven that the intent of this data is harmless from a national security standpoint. Not just that, but TikTok, in an effort to appease Donald Trump at the time, said, okay, the TikTok headquarters will be in Singapore and the data center will be in Virginia, giving us, the consumer, the user, peace of mind that this is not going into Beijing, this is an international company. So that is nothing that you should be concerned about. And as you said, you have to give up data to use the service because it's free.
Trusting multi-billion-dollar companies is hilarious. And there are things we know and there are things that we will never know. But one thing we do know is that TikTok's staff, especially their PR staff, are trained specifically to say, I quote, downplay ByteDance, downplay China, downplay AI. So if these things were not actual issues, why would they be specifically instructed to downplay something that isn't a real problem?
Because paranoia exists. People are paranoid. They hear the word China, internet, #1 social media app, and they get scared. So just because they're told to downplay doesn't mean they have something to hide. It just means they're protecting the reputation of the company that grew really fast.
They're told to downplay ByteDance. You can't disconnect ByteDance from TikTok. They own TikTok. They're told to downplay China. It does exist. These are not things that don't exist. They know they exist and they're afraid that people will understand how strong the connection is.
No, it's just about the paranoia. The paranoia is real. Why? Because this is the first time a social media platform has not come out of Silicon Valley. And it's very popular on a global scale, so people are paranoid, especially because it's coming from China. So the company is admitting that yes, you guys are paranoid, we're new to town, but guess what? Don't worry, we're gonna downplay it because we have nothing to hide. And they've answered the questions of Trump and now the new Biden administration, where it's like the data is being stored in Virginia and maybe Singapore.
Let's talk about China. I like China. China's a great country and they've been a great country for a very long time. And one of the main reasons that they are such a great country is because they are great at controlling their populace. And now they want to control ours. If you look at TikTok in China, it's showing learning, it's showing calligraphy, it's showing positive content. When you look at TikTok in the US, it's kind of young people dancing, it's very digestible entertainment. China wants their population to be smart and they want our population to be dumb. And it's working.
You're suggesting that this country is using a platform to essentially almost use soft propaganda to make us less productive, make us less ambitious, make us less intellectual, and that is a very huge claim, which I find to be unwarranted.
When you watch speeches by China's leader. He literally says things that people who go against China will have their heads smashed into the Great Wall that was built by Chinese people. This is not me inventing something. China is famous for going into other countries and investing in Sri Lanka, in all of these places financially, taking a stronghold. And in places like the US or Europe where it's harder to put a financial stronghold, which by the way they have, everything we make is from China, and we've been financially, taking them from a billion-dollar economy to a trillion-dollar economy. They're the fastest growing economy in history. It's an insane amount of growth, and it's strategic. So once you have financial power, you also need mental control, and that's what they're working on now.
I agree that China is after a lot of soft power. I've reported on it throughout South America, Africa, and everything. But we do not have evidence to claim that this platform is being used by the Communist Party to control us or to push out any types of propaganda. Because at the end of the day, the content that is interesting to the viewer is what's getting viewed. I can't tell you that I've seen any propaganda from China on my TikTok feed because I haven't.
So let me just give some facts. It is required by Chinese law that ByteDance and TikTok share any information they request. India banned TikTok, and for a reason. President Trump signed an order to ban TikTok. That's never been done with any other platform before. Militaries, the people with the best access to intelligence and who really know what's going on behind the scenes, things that you and I will never hear about, they have all banned TikTok. So when you look at patterns and when you look at what's happening behind the scenes, that's a lot more important than what we're seeing on our TikTok screens.
If what you're saying was actually true, why hasn't the US banned TikTok?
The US did ban TikTok.
No.
President Trump signed an order to ban TikTok.
But it never actually went through, right? Why?
It never went through, and then you know what? Actually, Biden reversed it when he came into power because Trump did not do a good enough job in writing it because it was written so quickly. So he found loopholes to reverse it. And then he later made a statement that we need to be careful about TikTok and that he may regret having done that. So it's definitely something that the US has their eye on and they're trying to regulate.
You mentioned India, which I find really interesting. Why did India ban TikTok? Because ironically, India saw what China was doing, that it built its own intranet and said, heck, we don't want anyone, whether it's China or even the US, building platforms that are more than 1 billion people are using, which is why they built a TikTok replacement called Taka Taka.
When you go and research the real reasons that India decided to ban TikTok, it shows that it's because of security and access and privacy concerns. Of course, every major country wants to have their own internet, but the type of TikTok that India is creating is not the type of TikTok where everyone in the world is using it. That's exactly my point. India is not trying to steal the information of everyone on Earth to convince them to think like India does. China is creating a TikTok that they want everyone to use, whereas India only wants to create an India TikTok.
Imagine if we live in a world where our governments can now start banning apps in a place, in a society like the US, which has freedom of speech and freedom of expression.
China, as we know, had a huge hack in the US healthcare company Equifax and stole the information of nearly half of Americans. This is a breach that is recorded and that we know about. Imagine how many breaches there are that we don't have recorded and that we don't know about. And why would they bother to breach information from other places when they can just directly get the information from the people themselves? China, speaking of people being paranoid, have blocked Facebook, have blocked Twitter, have blocked Google. They're blocking us. But for some reason, they want us to be using their platforms when they're not using ours.
The US government literally spied on Germany's prime minister. They listened to her conversations. So my response to that is everybody is guilty of spying and stealing data. And to your point, actually, Alyne, if China wanted data of Americans, there are a lot other ways that it would do that rather than trying to get 1 billion people to use an app. And honestly, let's be real, what are they really gonna use with this data that says Alyne loves watching cat videos on TikTok? She pauses at 4 seconds in, especially when it's this breed of cat. She loves to like those kinds of cats and she hates that kinds of cats. Like, what are they gonna do with this data? There's such other data that they would want and that they can go and get in other ways.
China is a country, which means they have political interests. all social media platforms, including US platforms, have had trouble with influencing voter behavior. Can you imagine how amazing it would be for China to influence political, voting, or even honestly social behavior and attitudes towards China or towards their products or towards whatever they want us to believe? I'd also like to point out that the US spying on one person is a little bit different than an entire country spying on every single person, right? So national security or one political leader is a little bit different than knowing what every single human is thinking and doing.
Well, a lot of it is a fear of innovation, and if we let a Chinese company win, what is next? That's the real slippery slope argument. And instead of flat out banning the app, the US government or any government could say, hey, TikTok, you need to submit audits to make sure that the way you're storing the data and the way that you're using the data is not a national security concern.
If I had a child and I told my child, please tell me every time you eat a cookie, do you think my child is going to tell me every time they eat a cookie? No, probably not, unless they have an amazing child. Do you really think most companies are going to be completely transparent? Every single major company has a history of doing its best to not be transparent. They do not benefit from transparency. And even if they are giving you the idea or the illusion that they're being transparent, honestly, they're probably not. So when it comes to, let's remove China. Let's say China is innocuous. Let's say they don't want soft power. Let's say they don't care about us, which obviously they do care. Well, let's say they don't. When you look at TikTok at its core, I think genuinely it's a product that's hurting people. I think it's a product that people enjoy in the moment, but they regret using later.
Why did TikTok become so big? 1 billion people have downloaded it. No longer do people want unauthentic content of somebody in the Maldives in an infinity pool. They want authenticity. And particularly during the pandemic, people were getting COVID, losing jobs, are very afraid to leave the house. TikTok became a place where it humanized the stories you were seeing in the news, the articles you were reading. And now it created a community where you felt like, oh my God, there are other people dealing with this.
I would agree that community is something very important, and it's definitely something people were looking for during the pandemic. But I do think that TikTok was a replacement for real communities and is actually hurting people. So I don't actually have a problem with Instagram. I don't have a problem with YouTube. I don't have a problem with Facebook Reels. The reason I have a problem specifically with TikTok is because they have an algorithm that nobody understands, that is above and beyond algorithms of other platforms, that really pull you in and make you feel like you're in a community, make you feel like you're getting this curated content that's pulling you away from your real life and causing a lot of issues with attention spans and focus.
Like everything, it's best in moderation. Gaming, there's millions of people, especially teenagers, who have gaming addictions, right? Where do you draw the line in terms of who's responsible? Is it the government or is it the parents?
There's something actually called the TTUD, TikTok Use Disorder, that was studied. And the studies show that people who use it actually have higher rates of anxiety and depression and lower and worse memories. Humans are not known for being good at putting limits on themselves. Humans, if you give them sugar, look at the US, they're gonna eat all the sugar. So I see TikTok as sort of the sugar of the content world. And they've created such an addictive product that even if people want to stop themselves, they're unable to. It's a genuine addiction. It's these dopamine hits that you get over and over. As we all know, the way our brain works is we have neural pathways. And the more you walk on a certain pathway, the more you do a certain thing, the more it's exercised. So reading something like a book or even a 10-minute YouTube video is kind of building a path that encourages critical thinking. But this kind of bite-sized little Skittle M&M content of 5 to 30 seconds is really hurting our brains and genuinely rewiring them to be more stupid.
It's great if we're reading books and having intellectual discussions about philosophy, but we also need entertainment. TikTok is an entertainment app. I'm not saying anyone should read less and use TikTok more, but instead of going to the movies or watching Netflix, TikTok is a great use of your time because you're gonna get content that is relatable and makes you feel part of a community because the algorithm knows which community you belong in. It's also a place where you can get news, where you can learn and educate yourself.
If you want to redefine news as misinformation without any research done on it, then I would agree that yes, TikTok does not have, official fact-checking things like the New York Times or other platforms do. That is where you should get news. You should get news from a long-form article with fact checking, not from a random person who thinks they know something because they read a news article title.
TikTok has a system where a human will watch a video before it really blows up. So they will make sure that misinformation does not get out there. And let me tell you something, it is in their best interest to make sure misinformation does not explode. Why? Because then it's bad publicity for TikTok. Imagine in high school. High school is a hard time for a lot of people, right? When we were in high school, we didn't have like TikTok, right? We just had to kind of deal with the people in our high school. And a lot of times, people are bullied for being different, for dressing weird, for being into weird hobbies, right? Now, imagine that same kid has a community on TikTok where they didn't have to go find people, they found themselves.
So, speaking of bullying is actually a lot worse now because now people can cyberbully. Whereas in the past, if I wanted to bully you, I have to go up to you and say, I hate you, you suck. Now I can go home, go to my computer, make a fake account and say, I hate you, you suck. I can also take secret videos of you, and entire schools are doing this. Probably every major school in the US has these accounts that are anonymous. They call it spilling the tea. They spill the tea and spread rumors about other students at their schools, and it kind of creates a herd mentality. So when you look at the comments on TikTok, they're usually a lot meaner than, for example, on Instagram, where people have their accounts that show them in their faces, whereas on TikTok you can feel more anonymous.
But people are a lot more woke, and if you notice, and I've noticed this on TikTok, people come to your defense very quickly. For every mean person there is on TikTok, there are 100 people defending the content creator or the content. And that's probably because TikTok is the first platform that made interactions between the audience and the creators so immersive.
How much are you paid per view compared to other platforms?
As a creator, TikTok has been amazing because I've grown about 8 times faster on TikTok than other platforms. And this gave me confidence. Like if I didn't have TikTok and it took me 3-4 years to grow on YouTube, I probably would have given up. Now, the monetization, yes, it is lower than other platforms, but I've compensated for that with brand deals, and brands have actually come to me more than any other of my platforms and said, hey, we want to partner with you and pay you. And TikTok has also created a lot of music stars. It's changed the way music goes viral.
Yes. Tell me the total amount you made from TikTok, the platform, for how many views you got.
I have about 500 million views on TikTok and I've made about $12,000.
And if you had 500 million views on YouTube, how much would you have made?
Maybe about $500,000.
Yeah.
That is not a fair comparison because my TikToks average between about 30 seconds, YouTube's average about 8 minutes. I agree that the monetization is a work in progress for TikTok. There are talks that they're going to open it for a global creator fund where everyone can get paid and get paid more. Additionally, nowadays I post on TikTok and I reuse them on Reels and Shorts, so the value is realized a lot better.
TikTok is owned by ByteDance. ByteDance wants you to use the internet, their internet, all the time. And they're like, you know what? Every creator has a problem going viral on other platforms. So we're gonna give every single creator a taste of virality. So they give you a little bit of the cocaine, of the drugs, and they say, oh my God, you went viral. Look, you got 10,000 followers overnight. It's this illusion of success. But then look at your views over time on TikTok. They're so volatile. One day you're viral, the next 5 days you have like 100 views. This is essentially mimicking exactly gambling. This is online gambling without the money.
You see that as gambling, I see that as opportunity. TikTok is here to say, I don't care about what you've done in the past, I care about what you just posted. And if that is worthy of people seeing it, I will push it out. And I know, you're not wrong. I do TikToks that get 2 million views and the next one gets 3,000. Guess what? It doesn't bother me anymore because it reminds me to have fun as a creator. Love the process, don't stress out about the views.
And now it's time for the closing statements.
TikTok is good because it has democratized content creation. The actual video is judged rather than the content creator, so anybody could make a viral video. On top of that, this is the first time we've seen a social media platform that praises and rewards you for being authentic and vulnerable. And because the algorithm is so good, you're likely to find a community of like-minded people people, and at the end of the day, we just want to be understood.
As a full-time content creator, someone who benefits financially from you being online, I want to tell you that I think you should delete your TikTok. I think your TikTok is making you more anxious, I think it's making you more depressed, and I think the benefits of entertainment and community are honestly not real. If you look at your life and your TikTok, I want you to think, how has this actually made my life better? And if the answer is not much, I hope you delete it. And if that didn't convince you, I just want you to remember who truly benefits from TikTok. It's a company in China, and it's not you.
Let the audience vote again. Who changed the most minds will be the winner. And the winner is Upton.
I knew it. 1 billion people can't be wrong.
As always, the real winner is decided in the comment section. Let us know if you think TikTok is good or bad.